Hey, I kind of figured out how to get real faces on Regens the other day. No. No way. Yeah, well, I actually figured it out a long time ago. I just figured out how to tell everybody how to get real faces on Regens. No way. I don't know why you won't believe me, man. Like it's actually pretty easy. We have a deal with the site that helped make it. Like I've been looking for real faces on Regens forever. There's no way that you have figured out how to get it. Why'd you emphasize you so many times, man? I don't know. You're just like bad with computers and stuff. Like it just doesn't seem like you would figure it out. You know? I did. Okay. I'm about to tell them. But, you know, that hurt. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt. You were not likely to figure this out. That's all I was saying. They know that. You're bad with computers. So just go ahead. They're waiting. They're not going to be waiting forever. I'm Zealand for FMBase. This is how you get real faces on Regens, and we're excited about it. If you celebrated Happy Boxing Day, this is your Boxing Day present. It's not a holiday over here, I don't really know what it is. This is your Boxing Day present, how to get real faces on Regens, and with all of my tutorials, we're going to make sure we walk through every step so that if you are on Windows in particular, you will be able to follow me step for step. I'm not going to do something without showing you in the entire process of getting the face pack for Regens, and then you will have the face pack for Regens and your life will be better for it. This works if you already have a face pack installed for the larger game. It works if you don't. It works with just about anything and will just subsume the game generated faces that start to pop up after you play 1 year. Now there is one issue with it, and that's that it does not recognize ethnicity. So playing in Korea could get a little confusing, or playing in Africa could get a little confusing if you're loading databases in, or just running with South Africa, because that's in the base game and I know things. We are working on getting an ethnicity identifier into the pack, but that looks like it's going to take at least a little while, and I just wanted to get this out to you. It's why the video came out on the 23rd of how to change faces. So when you load into the match engine and you see that the dude's got a different skin color or a different nationality that you think he should have a different looking face, you now know how to go into the face pack folder and change individual faces with a little custom faces folder in FMXML, and that video is going to be linked right up there. It allows every regen or newgen to get their own face, and it allows you to pick the faces of your Wonder Kids. The faces you're really feeling, you know. I enjoy it. We do it on stream all the time, called a face change. That's it. That's the disclaimers out of the way. That's the only issue with it. It's worth noting that it does have all, I would say, major ethnicities, because there's so many ethnicities you don't know if everyone's covered in the 14,000 plus faces that are in the pack. But you can go into the pack for a bunch of random cutouts of people that look all sorts of different ways to fit exactly what you think your regen looks like. And that's helpful. All right, now I've brought myself to the bottom corner to explain what we're going to need to actually pull this off. And it's a lot simpler, actually, than a lot of the other tutorials that we've done. The only thing you're going to need to pull this off is 7-zip, or another unpacking software, because the file is zipped. It's a face pack, which means it's huge, which means it has to be zipped for it to be hosted anywhere, at least in a cost-effective way. So you get 7-zip. If you're on Mac, you get Unarchiver, and then you are able to unpack the file. I'm going to very briefly go over how to do that very quickly. If you've already seen that and you already know how to unpack things, you can obviously just skip over that part. I'll see you on the other side if that's the case, but let's learn how to unzip real quick, and I'm going to show you where you need to go to download the stuff. First, you're going to open your browser. If you've never unzipped anything before, you're going to go to 7-zip. And this is obviously if you're just on Windows. 7-zip does not work on Mac. You go to the App Store, you find Unarchiver. All one word. When you go to 7-zip, you just download whichever version suits your fancy. Don't go with the alpha, just go with the 32 or 64-bit. They're both going to work. It does not matter. You click download on one of them, 7-zip is going to download, and then when you open it, and you can find it in your downloads unless you tell it to go somewhere else, it's going to look like this. And when it looks like this, what you need to do is you need to find the file that you're going to extract. So once you find the file that you want to extract, you can either click, you can't click there, actually. You can click the little drop-down arrow and go to desktop, which is where I am right now. You can use this to kind of back out. And I also believe you can drag things in here. Yeah. You can drag it from whatever folder you find, and you just click this extract right here. And when you click extract, it's going to give me a Windows sound, but it's going to show you, hey, like, Harry, where do you want to put this? And then you decide what folder that you're going to put it in, and I'm going to show you where to put it. But that's the end of the extracting portion of the tutorial. Now for actually acquiring and extracting and adding your real faces on Regens, we need to go to FMBase. So I'm going to open a browser window and type in FMBase, which, you know, I add that to every tutorial because you'd be surprised. Once you get to FMBase, you want to go to Resources, and you want to drop down Football Manager 2020 and go to Faces. Once you do that, you see there are already 6 downloads, and I uploaded this like an hour ago. People are already finding it, even though we haven't posted anything about it yet. And I don't think they know how to install it, but still. Once you go to Faces, this is the Regen face pack that I uploaded from FM Nation. You just go to download, and it is a drive link. And once this drive link comes up, you click download. I'm not going to because it's a rather decent file. But once you click download, it will download to wherever you tell it to download. I'm going to assume it downloads to your download folder, like for most people it will. And then I will show you where to put it. But if you are particularly tech savvy, you can download it directly where it needs to go, and then it is ready for extraction there. But here's where it needs to go. So you get your file downloaded. I just click File Explorer down here, where you're going to want to extract the file in the way that I just showed you. You find your file in the downloads, you go to your downloads folder by going through user and whichever user it is, and then going to downloads. Then you extract it into Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2020, and Graphics. If you do not have a graphics folder, you create it. Then Faces. If you do, you won't have any of this. If you don't have anything else already added to the game, you won't have any of this. You create a Faces folder, and in the Faces folder, you are going to create. It doesn't have to be mysterious other. I'll just change the name now to Regen Faces. But that you create a file that says Regen Faces, and you extract your folder into here. Just right in there. You go into Regen Faces, extract it into there, and well, mine has an extra layer that yours is not going to have because I was doing I created the zip file. And once you click in, it's going to look like this. It's actually layered by ethnicity, at least at the beginning, and 14,000 faces with the all valuable config file at the bottom. And that config file will allow these over 14,000 faces to repeat over 1 million regens, which means over 1 million regens are covered by real faces, and you won't really run into a lot of repeats. It's very unusual, and I've used the face pack for 3 years, and I've just started to see a face or two, and I go, I've seen that face before. He was on a team that I used to play against or something like that. That's the whole pack. Before the tutorial 3 days ago, hold on. Bring it in, team, because this is important for me. This is important for the immersion. For the tutorial that came out a couple of days ago about how to change faces, what I will most often do for face change is I go to a section and I go, okay, I've got a hotshot from Africa who looks like he's from Scandinavia because there's no ethnicity identifier and we're still working on it. Well, I come to one of the sections of African faces and I go, this guy, this looks like my regen right here. You copy, back out. I have it named equines only, but now we're going to turn this into custom faces so you actually know what's going on. You go into custom faces, you paste it, and then follow what I showed you in the other video, which I'm not going to waste your time with here. And that's how you can make your regen faces completely accurate and customize your regen faces down to the player. If you think one guy doesn't look quite right compared to how his person in the match engine looks, you can change it. That easy. Well, you follow the other tutorial, but it's that easy in the other tutorial. Okay, that's enough of that. It is now in the game. The config comes with it. If it's unzipped, that's in unzipping, usually everything's going to go well. If you don't have a config at the bottom of the face pack, then something went wrong. That's happened to a few people. Just re-download it and re-unzip it. I know it takes a little bit of time, and I'm sorry that happened, but apparently sometimes it can happen. If you get that config at the bottom, you're basically done. The faces are already there, and now we just need to load the game up. And while we're loading this up, if you've appreciated this video, you like what we've been able to figure out for you to help make your game better, if you could like the video, subscribe, and then hit that little bell so you get the notification every time one of our videos goes live. that'd be greatly appreciated from me. I also stream on Twitch. I'm live 4 days a week, normally playing Football Manager. So if you ever have any questions, you just want to kick back at the end of a day, play some Football Manager, you can throw me on. We can hang out. Always have a good time. And I'm actually awful at self-promotion, but, you know, if you want to come chill, you can follow the channel even if I'm not live, but I'm probably live, like right now. Okay, now that we are in the game, you're just going to want to load up your last save. And for me, my Twitch save's called the Soviet Steamroller. That's what we're going to load up. We're in, boys. We're in. I'm really only top of the league by 3 points. Ugh. But anyways, that's not important. What is important is going to our U19s. When we go to our U19s, all we have to do is click on, well, we sort by age. Click on Leonid Yurgul, and this guy in Belarus, he's not a real player. And he's got a real face. Levchuk, not a real player. Got a real face. It adds so much personality to the game. And as good as they make those 3D models, they're never just real pictures, you know? And if they're not showing up for you that easily, here's what you do. See this little FM in the top corner? You click that and go to Preferences. Once you're in Preferences, you're probably going to start at, well, Overview. You want to go to Advanced, and then you want to hit this drop down and go to Interface. Once you go to Interface, you're going to have the opportunity to reload your skin. If you just hit that button, things should work out for you. But the only reason they wouldn't is if you have caching on. So if your caching is on, that means it's saving image files to increase the load speed of your game. Untick caching, reload your skin. You can turn the caching back on to increase your load speed the next time you load into the game. At least that should be how it works. It'll keep everything running smoothly, but you can't tick it back on too soon, or else all of a sudden the old cache is going to come back and all your regen faces are gone. There's one other step that I know a few people have had to take when we've run through tests on this. I don't know if it's ever actually going to be necessary, but if for some reason the game-generated faces are ranking above the faces that we have in this face pack for you, you can actually turn off game-generated faces. And it's right here. I don't have to turn it off. I would recommend, if you turn it off, turning it back on. But this face pack even puts faces on all of your staff. I mean, it just takes every face that's generated by the game and turns it into one of the real pictures, which is repeating on a cycle with over 14,000 faces in it. So you will get a lot of faces on your staff and everything, so there won't be any game-generated images, but, you know, in case there are a few, you probably want to tick that back on, or else you're just going to end up with black holes all over the place. But just in case it's not working and you have no caching and you've reloaded the skin since turning off caching, you can untick this box, and it has, I say a few people, one person I know did this, and then all of a sudden it worked. And then I don't ask questions of coding because I'm not good with computers. Sometimes you just don't know why it happens, but it happens. I love technology. Link is obviously going to be in the description for you to go straight to the download. Also, all the links to get into my Discord, the FMBase Discord, go to the FMBase website, follow me on Twitch. That's all right down below. Please check it out if you have not already, and enjoy Real Faces on Regens. It's finally a dream come true. There will be another huge video when we actually figure out how to get ethnicity recognition into the game. It's going to require a lot of manual labor, but it is something that we are actually working on and something that we think we will be able to pull off. So I'll let you know when that happens, but for now, these last two videos are all that you need to get real faces on all of the regions you have in your game. Enjoy. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening? I don't know. I've got to go eat lunch. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the faces, okay? Peace. Like, you just gotta let the best calls come out of the emotion. Really. Did you see that? I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't just see what I just did.